English translation. 286th contact. Tuesday, 4th July, 2000, 17:02 hours.
You are on time, girl. Your call reached me just as Ava, Selina, and I were driving through Pfeffikon. And it happened to me that I said, yes, of course, out loud when you asked if you could come to me at 17:08 hours. Ava was, of course, surprised, and asked if I was talking to myself. So I gave her the necessary explanation.
It was not my intention to embarrass you.
That was not the case either, and on the other hand, I do not get embarrassed by such things. But what brings you to me? Something private, you said, but I cannot imagine that you need my advice in such matters.
We are not superhumans either, if I may say so about us Plearin.
I have never seen that in this context either. I mean, that you could be superhumans. Already Sim Ya Se pointed out to me on the 28th of January 1975 that you should not be regarded or judged as super, superior, or special humans and the like. Good, but what effectively brings you here now?
It is not easy for me to talk about it because it is really very private.
You do not need to be embarrassed at all, even if it is so private. In any case, I will try to understand you and give you advice, if that is within my capacity, and if advice is what you want to ask for, as you explained it.
Yes, but still. I have inhibitions.
Well then. Really nice and reassuring to hear that you still have that. Well, I'm really happy about that, because it is a very good proof that you have stayed human and have not become pompous, arrogant, or emotionless, even if you know how to keep your feelings under strict control. But please let me hear what moves you, and what you need advice for. Let your shyness be shyness for once, please.
It is really not easy, but so be it. I am in love.
Ah, but I think that is a very pleasant thing. Congratulations, and I wish you the very best as well as lasting happiness and lasting love. But who is the happy one? And may I also write this pleasant news down in the contact report?
You are so sweet and understanding. Thank you. Now that I have said it, I feel more comfortable. Of course you may write down my confession, but please only this one. For the time being, I do not wish to write down who my feelings revolve around and for whom I feel my deep love. There should first be clarity about how things develop and whether my love is reciprocated.
Of course, your wish is my command. So the lucky one still knows nothing about his real happiness? So I suppose, from what you just said. Do I know the man?
Yes, it is my concern now is this.
If you are actually so shy and have such inhibitions, then it is probably difficult for you to confess your love to him.
This is my very concern, and I need your advice as to how I should behave and what I can do. When
I see, it is.
You would do that for me, really?
Of course, I cannot let such a young girl with such big worries and problems simply lie in salt and die of thirst. It will be a pleasure for me, as a messenger of love, to be able to carry on your feelings of a spiritually fine, sensitive nature and feelings and put them into words. But it is also an honor for me, and so I will try to fulfill my task with all due respect, in order to fulfill your desire for love.
I do not know how to thank you. I find no words for it. Come, let me embrace you.
Girl, you are actually embarrassing me now.
That is not in my sense. Thank you. I feel you are a real friend.
Please, it is natural to be able to help you. So you do not need to thank me for that.
You are to be...
Please, I already know what you want to say. It is really not to be mentioned. Please.
Nevertheless, I am very grateful to you.
All right, if that is the way you want it. Besides, we will have to wait and see what comes out of my efforts. I think, however, that everything will work out for the best. Well then, may I ask you something else?
Of course.
Thank you. Barbara brought me a photo of a cloud formation. In between there was an object that looked like a beam ship in the magnifying glass. The picture was taken on the 3rd of June in Sieg, above Lenzkirch in Germany in the Black Forest or so. The picture was taken in the early evening hours. Do you know anything about it? Would it be possible that under certain circumstances someone of you was traveling in the airspace and could be photographed by Barbara intentionally or unintentionally?
Zafinat Paniak's ship between cloud formations in Sieg, above Lenzkirch in the Black Forest. Date 3rd June 2000, early evening hours. Photo, Barbara Harness.
This is true, because for our part we conduct sporadic monitoring flights around the world, whereby we also try to include the group members in our monitoring flights here and there, if they are holiday-related, etc.
You observe our group members when they are on holiday?
This has always been done by us, but this does not happen through continuous use, but only sporadically. The reason for this is in our interest, what interests the group members pursue, etc.
Then it is not about surveillance or security?
No, that is not the case.
And how do you always know when our group members are on vacation and where they are at the moment?
Our knowledge comes from your absence logs, which are transmitted to us by the recording equipment. However, it is not difficult to find the individual group members somewhere, because we can use their swinging waves, which we have registered, and which allow us to determine the location of a group member at any time. And since it has been decided that we may occasionally make ourselves noticed by group members or have our flying apparatuses photographed, we take this provision into account here and there.
Thank you very much for that. But just who was traveling near Barbara when she could take the photo?
At that time, Zafinat Paniach was responsible for the monitoring flights in the area where Barbara was staying.
Well, that was it, actually. That is all I have to ask. So I want to reassure you that I will do my best to make your wish come true.
UFO report by Barbara Harnisch, Switzerland.
From the 1st to the 4th of June 2000, I spent a short holiday with my parents, my cousin and her boyfriend in Sieg, above Lenzkirch in the Black Forest, Germany. After a walk along the Schlucksee, we all sat together on the terrace of our hotel in the early evening of the 3rd of June, where we enjoyed the wonderful view and the mild wind. On this Saturday it had been very hot and humid, and it looked almost as if a thunderstorm was brewing. The cotton wool-like clouds moved with great speed over the otherwise steel blue sky and quickly changed their shape and color. Such natural spectacles have always fascinated me, which is why I watched with fascination as new figures formed and dissolved from the masses of clouds. When the sun was covered by a huge cloud and its rays were glistening over the storm cloud, I had to think of my girlfriend who loves such moods as much as I do. So I pulled out my camera and pointed it straight up into the sky to take 3 or 4 atmospheric pictures for her. While taking the pictures, I thought very briefly that there might be a little ship nearby, but immediately rejected this idea again, because the Plejaren certainly have better things to do than to look in the Black Forest to see what we are doing. Two weeks later, I showed my photos to some core group members in Hinterschmidruti because they were really successful. Hans-Georg Lanzendorfer looked at the cloud formations, gave me a picture and said that there was a ship on it. Laughing, I answered him, "Sure it is, because the black dot between the clouds looked more like a passing bird to me." But Hans did not let himself be dissuaded from his assumption and showed the photo Billy, who immediately took the magnifying glass and showed me the contours of the ship. Amazed and very pleased, I handed him the negative, which he wanted to bring to the photographer for magnification. 2 days later, he told me that I had photographed the ship of the Plejaren Zafanat Paniach, who had obviously been busy in the Black Forest. If Zafanat Paniach wanted to make me happy, he did it masterfully, even if I did not notice anything at all while taking the picture, except for those short thoughts, which almost seemed cheeky to me.
For which I am very grateful.
Now I do not want to keep you any longer.
Farewell, and again be sure of my deepest thanks.
All right, please do not say thank you all the time. It is really not necessary. Take care, dear girl. As soon as I can, I will call you as soon as I can do my job.